Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to video 4.1, Introduction and Explanation of Trig Part 2. Okay, oops, get that mouse out of the way. So today we are going to talk about, for a little bit, about the primary trig functions. So if you've ever heard the word SOHCAHTOA, right, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is open or blah, opposite over adjacent. Well, we're done with that. And we're actually done with Pythagorean's theorem. And if you're not sure, that looks like this. Hypotenuse squared is equal to side squared plus side squared. Or that's the way I teach it. Yeah, somewhere from before you might have got c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Either way, it's all good. They're great. They're beautiful for Grade 10. But they are awesome if the triangle has a right angle. So there has to be a 90 degrees angle in there. If there's not a 90-degree angle, you don't get to use those. So this is Math 20. It's more fun. We get to do non-right angle triangles. Uh, two options that I'll talk about in a sec, and then also two quick rules that'll save you a lot of time. All right. So right now, take a deep breath. This looks scary. It's okay. We're all going to be okay because we're going to get through this together. This is important work. Okay. So your sine law is A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. And if you're looking at that going, I wonder if we're going to cross multiply. Yes, we are. We are going to cross multiply like crazy in this section. This one looks a little scarier. No cross multiplying, but it's still okay. And just as a reminder, I think we talked about this in grade 10. Okay. All of these lowercase letters. So that one, that one, that one, that one, and that. Those are all the sides of a triangle. Okay. So it'd be centimeters, meters, inches, feet, miles. Doesn't really matter. It's going to have some unit for length. The capital letters all refer to angles. So those are always going to be in degrees. And in case you're wondering, that 2 is always, 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 always there. It's just a 2, nothing more profound. Okay. My little side note here to remind me to say, part I didn't get to, if you don't get no more hypotenuse, you can talk about the longest side, but you can't use the hypotenuse because that means there's a right triangle. Anyway, those are the two laws we're going to use. The other thing we need to know, well, you know what? I will do what's written on the page first, and then I will do a drawing underneath. Actually, I can do both. All right, the longest side of a triangle is always opposite the biggest angle. Sorry, I'm trying to grab my ruler. There we go. So I'm going to draw a triangle down here. There we go. Doesn't matter what kind I draw, as long as it's not a 90-degree angle. There we go. Okay. So if you look at this, this is clearly the biggest angle. I'm not going to measure, but I can see, I can eyeball it and see it's the longest. And you know what? Over there, across, that is the biggest side. That's all the rule is. Okay. So it allows us to at least get, oh, how do I explain this? It doesn't necessarily mean your answer is right, but it can tell you when your answer is wrong. So let's say I had this was 15 centimeters and I did some calculations and this one came out to be 12. No, I don't know what it is, but it's not 12. Okay. In this same way as if this came out as 20, it's like, well, at least that's a possible answer, whereas 12 is nothing at all. It also works at the smallest, oops, those kind of look the same size. If you can find the smallest angle, it's across from the smallest side. But one more thing about this. These are called the interior angles of a triangle. This one, I'm going to color them all pretty. This one and this one. Okay. So the rule is, I'm going to put it underneath. The sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Should know that from grade 10. And if we're in chapter 3 on trig, we did the section on polynomials. So we already know that. We did, you even did, or sorry, angles and polygons. We already did a lab on that. You know that's the answer. So what's that got to do with anything? Well, maybe I know that this one, I don't know, 20 degrees. And I'm making this up. I'm going to say this is 15 degrees, but I don't know this one, but I need it for my calculations. Well, all I would do is go 180 degrees altogether, minus 20, minus 15, and I'm lazy. 180 minus 20 minus 15. Boop. That means that angle is 145 degrees. It's not often that you're going to have to use it, but once in a while. Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Whoops. Put you back in the real world, nice and straight. All right, have a spectacular day. Join me again for more fun videos. Bye.